empowered. Be strong. Take charge. Speak life. Live life abundantly. Get with it now. You are now entering the chat room. Health Chat with Coach Jean, that is, where we debate, debunk, educate, empower, impart, and raise awareness on all things related to health, healing, and holistic well-being, body, mind, and spirit. Let's go.
Hey, everybody. What's up? Welcome to the chat room. Health Chat with Coach Jean, that is. I am your host. This is your girl, Nurse Coach Jean Turner. Thank you so much for tuning in from wherever you are in the world. We thank and praise God for another opportunity to educate, inspire, motivate, and bring awareness to all things related to health, healing, and holistic well-being. And so we are 21 days into the new year. Where are you with your wellness goals? Hit me up on Facebook and Instagram at Health Chat with Coach Jean, on Twitter at chat_coach, or on LinkedIn at Nurse Coach Jean, and share with me, where are you at with your wellness goals, and how can the coach help you on your wellness journey? And as you know, January 7th, we kicked off our January Jumpstart the Wellness series, where my guest, Miss Mia Greco, a registered dietitian, joined me here in the chat room, and we debunked keto and paleo diets. And then we came back last week debunking this intermittent fast diet. But, fasting for spiritual reasons is one thing, but fasting for dietary reasons, there are some health risks associated with these fad diets. And so if you missed any of those episodes, then go back and check out the replay on pray.com, Apple, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeart podcast venues. And so tonight, we're going to continue with our Jumpstart the Wellness series, and we're going to talk about the glow up, okay? And yes, men, we love y'all dearly. Y'all can glow up too now, all right? Because in most parts of the world, it is winter time, and look, that dry, wintry skin, that cold air, and how it dries up your skin and affects your skin, men and women. So men folk, you stay on the line tonight as well and learn how you can keep your skin moisturized so you can have the glow up. Give yourself the gift of glow and stay tuned in to tonight's episode, all right? Because you don't want your wife rubbing and touching on you and your skin all dry, I'm sure. So stay tuned and stay on the line tonight with us as we discuss the glow up, okay, and skin care as a part of self-care. And look, the skin is the largest organ in our bodies, right? And anytime we have a break in our skin, right, it can lead to bacteria and other germs getting in our skin and going deep into the skin and getting into our bloodstream, right? Because the skin is our largest organ, and when any break in our skin is a portal of entry for that stuff that we don't really want to enter our body. So we're going to talk a lot more about that tonight. And if you're interested in being a sponsor, promoting your all-natural organic product or complementary alternative therapy business, you massage therapist, you acupuncturist, you herbalist, you sell all-natural herbs, or you got an upcoming health and wellness event, hit your girl up at Health Chat with Coach Jean at gmail.com, or go to my website at spiritofAwarrior.life and fill out the contact information and let me know you are interested in sponsoring or, sharing with the world your all-natural organic product, your all-natural holistic wellness services, or if you got an upcoming event, if you're interested in sharing it with the world, hit me up and let's talk shop. And so tonight, I'm going to give a quick shout out to Miss Marie Edwards of ECV Talks out of Jacksonville, Florida, USA. I want to just thank her for being such a gracious host and allowing me, Coach Jean, to share some health tips to her audience on her show, EVC Talks. And hey, for your personal shout out, the shout out heard around the world, holla on major podcast platforms. Hit me up again on my social media platform and post. Coach Jean brings awareness under the promo flyer for the upcoming show, and you too can hear your name shouted out here in the chat room. So without further ado, let's get with it now. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we come before you, thanking you for another opportunity to come before your people throughout the nation and around the world here on Health Chat with Coach Jean. And I pray, Lord, that something said tonight will bless somebody, will encourage somebody as they continue on, jumpstart, resume their health and wellness goals for the year 2021, the new now. In Jesus' name, amen, amen, and amen. And so, look, my guest tonight, hey, the girl from Kentucky, USA is in the house. What? She is an entrepreneur who truly enjoys sharing and serving. She enjoys serving others. She enjoys sharing with others, but on her terms. And she is a lover of all things related to self-care. And she's a witness to the benefits of personal self-care and is committed to helping others define what self-care means for them, because self-care means different things to different people, right? She is down to earth. She is everyday people like your girl, Coach G. You know, she inspires others. And I'm delighted to have her join me here in the chat room on this evening. So, hey, little sis, Dee Dee, are you in the virtual building?
Hey, big sis. Hey, big sis. Thank you so much for those kind words. I really appreciate it. And I'm honored that you definitely invited me here tonight. So, yes, I am here to spend some time with you.
Yes, it's been a long time.
It has been. It's been a while.
Yeah, since I left you. And now with a dope rhyme, you know, step to you with a dope rhyme. Who is that, Eric B. and Rakim? Okay.
Yeah, it is.
I'm dating myself. Let me stop acting up. But I'm excited that you're here this evening.
I'm excited to be with you. This is going to be fun. This is definitely something that me and you have spent many conversations on.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You know what? Yeah, like over almost 5 years ago, we've been talking and sharing many conversations on self-care and health and wellness and healing and wholeness. So, look, now let's just go ahead and jump right in. Now, you know the health crisis and challenges I had in 2018 and 2019. And so during that time, you know, I followed you on social media. And I've witnessed the self-care transformation because when we first met back in 2016, when I first landed and set foot on Fort Benning, you was looking at me sideways with some stuff, you know, especially I talk about, come on, let's go walking up that hill or whatever. But you were in a different place.
You definitely stressed me out.
Oh, I did. I stressed you out.
You stressed me out trying to keep up, right? Because I knew that what you were doing was beneficial. I just wasn't doing it. So to sort of kind of be called and said, hey, let's do it, that meant I had to face something that I definitely neglected in myself.
Wow. But yeah, you definitely were not in the place that you are now. And I've watched you take baby steps in this journey. So I want to ask you first, little sis, what motivated you to begin your self-care journey? What would, in other words, your why? Because our why is what motivates us, keeps us motivated. So what motivated you to begin your self-care journey? What was your why?
Well, so maybe about in 2015, I started to experiencing some small gastro issues, right? Maybe having some sensitivity to foods. At the same time, I had also gained a little bit of weight. was dealing with what just everyday life, right? All of us deal with something at home. So home life, raising kids. And so all those things combined together, going back and forth to the doctor, and the doctor essentially telling me, hey, all the tests come back, you don't see anything. And if you know anything about me, I'm very persistent on when I think things are not correct. So I will get more than one opinion simply because it's for my own peace of mind. So I pretty much settled on, okay, there was nothing per se, quote unquote, medically there. So then I had to start looking at myself, and I actually had a nurse tell me, you may need to look at your stress levels, right? Because most of us don't really understand what stress does to us. And stress shows up in all of us in different ways, whether it be appetite, whether it be emotions, whether it be anger, et cetera, et cetera. For me, it showed up in gastro distress, right? So I was unable to eat foods. I was constantly just nauseated, not feeling well, starting to get lethargic. And then you came along, right? And so you came along and you were definitely like, hey, like we're not getting any younger. And I need to work out, right? I'm still active duty. I have to work out. Come join me. So I was like, okay. And so that sort of kind of kicked it off for me, that really just watching someone that I definitely began to look up to, right, as a mentor, but also as a friend, and just watching you give yourself no excuse for making sure that your wellness and your health was a priority to you. So that's what began me to really take it serious, because I actually was looking at a person that I admired and watching them do exactly what I needed to be doing. So it was pretty easy to sort of kind of just, quote unquote, follow the leader.
Oh, wow. Well, to God be the glory. Look, what were your challenges? Did you find anything challenging, though? Like, what was your biggest challenges, though?
My biggest challenge was being disciplined, being committed, right? What you want to do, what I wanted to do versus what I actually did, I didn't stay consistent. So a big challenge for me was diet, right? I've never really been a person who has been so focused on my diet to the point of, hey, I just maybe need to lose weight. But that was pretty much the extent of paying attention to my diet. But actually, once I began to research and I began to learn, diet really has, it plays into our mental wellness. It plays into, again, something that I'm very, very big up on, my skin health. Right as I started to age, right? I mean, I'm over 40, unashamed over 40. And definitely as I was aging, being able to keep myself in tip-top shape required me to be disciplined even when I didn't want to, right? Because it's not easy to be disciplined. All of us, myself included, don't always just do the right thing. We know we need to do some things for ourselves, but habit doesn't make us do that. So that was my biggest challenge, being disciplined in the decisions that I needed to make for myself.
Wow, that's good, because you know what I tell coaching clients, that, you know, it takes, and it's baby steps, you know, it's not a marathon, you know, it's not a marathon, it's a sprint, right? And it takes baby steps, but it takes, you know, not beating yourself up. If you fall down one day, you just shake yourself off and, you know, keep it moving, right?
Absolutely. Just really not getting down on yourself or beating yourself up, like you said, because you do have a quote unquote setback, right? Because we're all going to have them. I don't think any of us aim for perfection. Really, what I tell anyone is just practicing consistency. And so with practicing consistency, if you've never done it before, it will be a job to become consistent, but you have to keep at it. And I think that's really what, for me, was something that, I mean, even still to this day, I still struggle with being consistent. I'm better at it than what I was 2 years ago, absolutely. But there's still parts that I still have to say, you know what, it's not going to do itself. No one's going to do it for me. And I am the one who benefits. And that's the self-talk I have to have with myself to make sure that I stick to the things that I set for myself.
Right. Oh, wow. That's good. Because, you know, we're our own cheerleader most of the time, right? If no one else is rooting us on, we got to root ourselves on, right? We got to be our biggest cheerleader. And, over the last year or so, I've been seeing you on social media. Again, I follow you on social media, and you are taking your followers through these skincare regimens, right? Doing these skincare videos and things, glowy, all glowy, and sun dewy kissling, all that good stuff. And so let's discuss this glow up, if you will. So what led you to give yourself the gift of glow and make skincare a major part of your self-care focus?
So for me, in defining what self-care for me is things, the small things that I'm able to do for myself by myself, right? So for everybody, self-care can mean something different. For some people, self-care is exercise. So for some people, self-care is maybe creating, right? Pottery or something to that degree. So for me, self-care is doing the small things for myself in an intimate setting with just myself. And so as a person, I am lighter in skin tone. So I have to be very, very mindful about the way that I expose myself to the sun. Shameless, I'm a little bit vain about myself, right? Not to the point to where I'm no longer humble, but definitely concern myself with the way I look. And so skincare for me was just a perfect marriage because it was something that I really, really took care of all my life, right? I was the high school student who used oil of Olay, right? I was that kid because I was like, I got to get a head start on making sure that I age gracefully, right? So as I began to practice self-care and understand what I need to do for myself, skincare is the thing that came in the forefront because as a creative, right, I'm a creative. I love to find new things, try new things. I definitely am a DIYer. So living here in the South, wanting to have the sun-kissed look all year round is something that I've always just sort of kind of strive for because my skin feels healthier. Of course, it looks good to me. And so, that was really just sort of it. It was just finding something for me that I defined as self-care, and skincare is that thing for me.
Wow, that's good. That's good. And, you mentioned earlier about your diet, right, when it came to your gut health. But how important, I'm always talking about diet, but I want the audience to hear your perspective of how important the role that diet played. We know about your gut health, but in your skin, because your skin is just radiant.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So this is my take on skin health and in relation to our diet. Our skin, like you mentioned at the very beginning, is our biggest organ in our body. And our skin pretty much gives us a snapshot of what our overall health is like for ourselves. Our skin endures the environment. It endures products that we put on ourselves. It endures mental health, stress. It endures, more specifically, the diet, the food that we take in. And all of us have different goals and or limitations, restrictions, et cetera, et cetera. So for me, when I was battling, and again, this is really just a balance for me, making sure that I keep myself in check. When I began to battle gut issues, I really had to take a hard look at what I was taking in. And was it, one, beneficial to my overall health? Was it beneficial to my weight loss goals? And was it beneficial in terms of just making me feel better? Because if you've ever dealt with any type of gastro issues, that can definitely be just an uncomfortable time with sort of kind of trying to figure out what that is. And I am a proponent for 20th century medicine. I definitely believe that there is a place and a time for medicine intervention. I definitely believe that. But I also firmly believe that nature provides us with many of the things that we need to heal ourselves. And so one of the first things that I began to look at was to look at the holistic side of repairing my gut. And a lot of that required me to take some restrictions. But with the restrictions, I really started to see the difference in the way that my skin reacted. Right. So something just as simple as removing dairy from my diet literally had a huge play in the acne that I was still experiencing late into my 30s. I was still experiencing acne along the jawline and things like that periodically. But when I remove dairy from my diet, because with it being it can have an offset for some people who have gastro issues, it was a double whammy. So it literally just started taking me down the rabbit hole of looking like, okay, so if I eat this, what will this do? If I eat this, what will this do? And that's pretty much how I began, just trying to heal one thing. And I realized I was benefiting in another place, which again, skincare, skin health for me is one of those things of interest and importance. So that's how they sort of kind of married for me.
And so that's a good example of what I tell clients and what I say here week in and week out in the chat room. An imbalance in any aspect of our being, an imbalance in any organ, any vessel, any part of our being creates this harmony throughout.
G?
Oh my goodness. Any imbalance creates this harmony throughout the rest of our bodies because it's all interconnected, right? And so you just gave a good example of that, how changing your dietary habits for gut health had a positive effect on your skin. So a whole nother bodily system, improved because of changes you made with your diet, even though that was not the initial intent. The initial intent was your gut, but your skin is reaping the benefit. So, yeah, because it's all interconnected. And so for those of you listening to us tonight or who will catch the replay, this is a perfect example of how everything within our bodies, everything that makes us human is all interconnected, and how one thing affects the other, how change in one area can create positive change in another. So that's good, sis. That is really, really good. And so you talked about the changes in your diet that have made a positive impact and contributed to your glowing skin. And so, look, listeners, let me tell y'all go to her website and go to her social media platform. And I'm going to let you share that information before we get off the air tonight, Dee. But look, y'all who are listening, if y'all go to her social media pages and see her skin, you will know what I'm talking about. My God. I mean, wow. And so are there any other changes that you've made? Yeah, you was a big coffee drinker too. You would not come into the office without that darn cup of coffee. How are you doing with the caffeine intake, and how is that related to your skin care, if at all?
So, yeah, you're absolutely correct. Like, I've been a hardcore coffee drinker. And, you hear a lot of people say, I drink coffee because I can't get to moving, right? I need it for the day. I can honestly say I truly just enjoy coffee. It wasn't any reason like I needed it to move or to get motivated, or I was this grump before I had a cup of coffee. I truly just enjoyed it, right? So, again, as I began to venture down that, as my husband calls it, we call it the rabbit hole, right? We start in one area and we just keep going, digging for more and more. I began to realize that caffeine is, again, very, very holistic side. Caffeine is just not really good for our systems. And I was a heavy soda drinker for many, many years. And then, of course, a coffee drinker, both of those high in caffeine. And so I began to start to follow and mimic an alkaline diet. And so, of course, again, coffee was on the no-no list. Coffee and chocolate, right? Both of those things definitely keep the caffeine, can keep the caffeine count up. So doing things like alternatives for myself, I've removed coffee and replaced it with green tea. Okay? Green tea is good for your skin, right?
Yeah, antioxidants, girl.
Exactly. Antioxidants, antibacterial also, right? So for people who maybe deal with some skin issues, some eczema, all those things, green tea helps with all of that. But also it replaced the warmness, right? Because again, I liked coffee. I didn't need coffee. I liked it. So this was the great replacement for me, just to continue with something else warm, But now we're double whammying again. Now I'm still getting my fix, so to speak, but now I'm also feeding my skin. The same thing with chocolate. I've never really been a crazy chocolate candy person, but when I want it, I want it. So instead of milk chocolate, if I have a desire, if I make anything with chocolate, it will be 70% or more dark cacao, right? Because the purest form removes the caffeine out of it, and it doesn't put the dairy into it, right?
Right.
So again, it's sort of kind of, huh?
I said, right. I'm agreeing. Keep going. I'm agreeing.
Yeah. So, so doing those small swaps for me, I don't feel like I ever really had to remove anything. I just made new choices. And this goes back to the whole discipline piece that I was talking about. Being able to just be consistent in making the changes in my routine is really what I had to work with, because it's easy. I mean, I can find a cup of coffee anywhere. And I mean, but finding a cup of finding green tea, if I don't have it, if I don't carry it at the home with me, that can be a bit more challenging depending on the area. You know, more city area, you'll be able to find it. More rural areas, which is sort of kind of where I live. I live in between a city rural area. So I have to be very intentional when I'm looking for green tea outside of my home. But those small swaps, that's literally all I had to treat it as. So I didn't sort of kind of what we call have to miss it, because all I did was just change it. So that's all I really did with my diet. I literally just found the alternative swaps. And I mean, if there were some things that I've needed to get rid of, again, being disciplined, understanding the outcome that I'm looking for, is sort of kind of what keeps me motivated in that area.
Right. Girl, the other day I made some chocolate vegan ice cream with cacao powder and some raw organic agave syrup and some bananas. I had some burro bananas, the little baby bananas, which are alkaline, the burro bananas, and water, my alkaline water. And what else did I add? I think that was it. And put that baby in the freezer, and it was good. Oh, delicious. Yeah, it was good. I think that was it. It was delicious. So you're right. Food swaps. That's another topic that I talk about with my coaching. But yeah, it is doable. And what you said is the thing about, you know, when you are living that lifestyle, right? You have to it's about finding alternatives that give you the taste and the texture of what you were or what the original form or product is, you know, and it takes work, it takes diligence, it takes commitment, it takes putting forth that effort. And so you're bringing up some really, really good points. And so I want to go into, let's talk about a skincare regimen. I know you got some tips. I got about 13 tips here because, you know, I'm all about the skin too, you know, and aging gracefully, you know. Let's talk a little bit about some skincare regimens. And I want to start off with at least just a basic for our listeners. Just to me, the three basic things, if you don't do nothing else, should be to cleanse, to tone, and to moisturize your skin. And basic.
Correct.
Basic.
Correct.
And so, let's talk a little bit about your skincare regimen. What do you do? I'm sure it includes those three. And do you add anything else to yours?
So it really depends on the time, right? So my daily, my just everyday workday routine will be a cleanser. It will be a toner. It will be a serum of some form. Right now, I'm really heavy into vitamin C serum. So that's good for fine lines, pigmentation, like a really good one. So finding a really good serum for yourself, again, depending on what your skin type is and what your intent on your skin is. Everyone has a different reasoning, right, for why they want to do their skincare. So a good serum, a moisturizer, but the biggest one that I will preach, sunscreen. No matter what time of the year. We are in the middle of the cold, right? you still put sunscreen on. Even the smallest amount of sunlight to your skin, anyone who suffers from pigmentation, especially dark pigmentation, sunscreen is your best friend. So that is sort of kind of my basic. So I have 5 to my basic. Now, I also believe in masks. I believe in exfoliators. I believe in peels, right? So all those things have a time and a place. Those are normally done on a weekly basis, but the everyday will be a face wash, a toner, a serum, a moisturizer, and a sunscreen. Sunscreen will go on last. So sunscreen sort of kind of protects everything that you put onto your face.
Right. And so our skincare regimen is basically the same, because I believe the same thing. I'm going to cleanse my face. And many times it's not just daily, it's twice a day, depending, especially if a good workout and I done sweated, been out in the sun, whatever. I'm definitely cleansing. I'm toning. I do use my vitamin C serum. I moisturize. Definitely. Now, I'm going to tell you what, I'm not as diligent as I should be with my sunscreen. And my esthetician told me years ago, I don't care if you just getting in and out the car and not spending all day in the sun. You still need to put on sunscreen. And I remember that, and I'm trying to live by it. I'm just not as diligent as I should be with it. Shame on me. So I agree. Use the sunscreen every single day, whether you're out in the sun, bathing or whatever or not, and preferably with a broad spectrum with a SPF of 30 or greater is usually what's recommended by dermatologists and estheticians. I'm a fan of getting quarterly microdermabrasion, like going to get my facials by esthetician. In the meantime, I do like to do my mask here, my DIY. And with COVID, I've had to really go all the way in with my DIY, as far as my at-home facials. But steam is good, too. Now, you do that as well. You can sit in that sauna like crazy, right? But you got a little home steamer you do. How do you incorporate that?
So the steam for me, of course, the whole purpose is to open your pores, right? Because a lot of us deal with larger pores, which, of course, is an indicator of clogged pores. So the steam process is you wash your face. For myself, wash my face. And then after I've washed my face, I will steam my face. And then I will put cool water on my face, right? Because before you add in the other products, you want to make sure your pores have shrunken back down. Because, again, the whole purpose of the steam process is to help pull any impurities out, put some cool water on after the fact to help to go ahead and close your pores back up before you start to load product back on. And so the steam process for me, it can be done daily. I normally won't do it, but maybe 2 to 3 times a week because, as you mentioned, we are sauna babies. And here in COVID, since, the world has shut down and I've been unable to go to the sauna, I actually just bought a sauna. So I actually have a sauna at home in my garage. So I use my sauna a lot. So I pretty much steam myself as a whole at least about 4 to 5 times a week. But intentional, just a face steam will be about 2 to 3 times because that's going to be the day that I'm doing my mask. And that's going to be the day that I may be doing a peel or something of that nature. So it's a little bit more regimented. So it's a bit more steps. And I definitely add the steam in on the day that I'm taking all the steps for my DIY at home stuff.
Wonderful. And another tip I want us to talk briefly about is getting enough sleep. Sleep is important for overall health and for your skin health. And most people do not make that correlation between sleep and health, let alone sleep and skin health.
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, our skin is an indicator of what our overall health is, right? And lack of sleep or interrupted sleep definitely shows up in our face. I mean, how many of us have had bags, have seen people with bags, have seen people with dark circles under their eyes? And all of it is not necessarily because they don't want to sleep, but some people literally deal with other things that interrupt their sleep. So being able to get the recommended 6 to 8 hours, right, if you're an adult, they recommend that you get the 6 to 8 hours a night of sleep is so imperative, because when you sleep, what happens is, of course, you have cell turnover, right? That is when your body repairs itself. So if you don't sleep, your body never really goes through a repair, or you get very intermittent or small amounts of sleep. I mean, I know people who sleep 4 hours a night on a regular basis, and they literally look as though they don't sleep. They look like they don't feel well. They look like they're not rested. So being able to sleep is definitely imperative just to the overall look, but it's also just you feel different when you're rested versus when you're not. I don't know. I mean, I know you as a soldier, as a previous soldier, the nights that you didn't have sleep, it really just affected, I'm quite sure, how you functioned the next day, simply because you literally did not get to rest. You did not get to repair. You did not get to rejuvenate. And that eventually starts to show up in your skin. So many of us have tried to figure out how to take care of bags or dark circles due to lack of sleep. And sometimes life happens and we don't get it. But being able to try to be on a schedule as much as possible, as much as life will allow, trying to be on a schedule is just good for your overall health. And again, the skin is the benefit, the added benefit outside of you just being able to take care of your mental wellness also.
Right. And so we got about 10 minutes left. I want to run down a few more of these tips. Now, in the age of COVID-19, now more than ever, and this is put out, in addition to the washing your hands and wearing the mask and social distancing, don't touch your face. It's important because, if you touching your face, especially if you suffer from acne, eczema, all you're doing is spreading bacteria and causing further breakouts, which can lead to scarring, increase in wrinkles, on top of coming down with COVID-19. So hand washing is really important. Avoid touching your face. That is key. Hydration, because you were not a big water drinker at one time. I remember that. But staying hydrated, staying hydrated improves your skin, the elasticity, the glow. It flushes toxins, the moisture. So tell me a little bit about that. Have you increased your water intake?
Listen, sis, you'll be so proud of me. I'm a water connoisseur now, right? So I, of course, like many people who didn't drink water much, have went through the motion of trying the flavored waters, trying the fruit waters, right? And I never really understood what people said. If you drink water, you can even taste the differences in water until I began to drink water. You can taste the differences in water. So again, I follow a semi-alkaline diet like yourself in terms of some of the items that I select. So I am a spring water person, but I also purchased myself a Berkey water filtration system. Absolutely love it, hands down. If you are a water drinker, it is one of the cleanest waters that you can get to have at home, that is also portable. So yeah, up to a gallon a day. I do really well making sure that I take that in, simply because I know, one, the benefit, our body needs it. It definitely helps with moisturization of the skin, but you feel better when you are hydrated. It's so easy for us to get dehydrated. And I think part of that is what I suffered from too when I was going through some of my gastro issues. I think dehydration really played a big role in that because, of course, we think we drink enough water, but most times we don't drink enough water, even for those of us who are intentional with drinking water.
Right. Well, I don't have that problem.
I know you don't.
Because that's all I drink.
Gallons of water.
Yeah. Remember, I used to come in the office with my gallon jug of water.
You did. Yes, you did. We didn't go anywhere without that gallon of water in the passenger seat or on the console. That gallon of water went everywhere with it. So you definitely, but that was something that you taught me, right? Like, you make no excuses. You just got it done for yourself. And it was never about anybody else. It was, I need water. And, you know, pretty much you would say, but, and you need to drink some too, right? So I eventually began to take heed to that because I did need to drink water. So definitely drink a lot of water now. A lot of water. Don't do sodas or juices or anything like that. Like, water is my first choice of drink at all times.
I am so proud of you. Girl, you come a long way, baby. Yes.
Man, long way. Long way.
Yes. And so you touched on exfoliating because that removes dead cells. You talked about as far as we talked a little bit about the antioxidants, that is in vitamin C, because I use a vitamin C serum as well. How your sugar consumption, cutting out sugar, because sugar contributes to inflammation, right? Which can lead to what? Breakouts, skin breakouts.
Yeah. Look, I think the biggest thing I could tell anybody when it comes to sugar is sugar cravings come from a what we call a backup of the system, right? So you more than likely probably need to detox. Sugar cravings need to be detoxed out of your system. You don't necessarily they go away on their own. You sort of kind of got a clogged system, so you need to detox yourself. So sugar cravings, I am definitely an avid detoxer. That's something I think you picked up on as we began to go along and I began to change. That was something I really, really did because I knew from years and years of bad diet, I had to start to get my system going again. And so now I do a major detox, a 7-day detox, every 3 months, simply because, again, it's about overall health. But once you get used to removing the junk out of your system, you sort of kind of crave it, right? So sugar is one thing that I wanted to make sure that I no longer become reliant on again, or having this statement of I need sugar. So, yeah, sugar is definitely inflammatory for your system, definitely contributes to breakouts. Yes.
Most definitely. And so a few others, I want to mention because we got about 2 more minutes. You alluded to the stress. We know that stress causes our hormones to go all out of whack. And when our hormones are out of whack, that leads to even more breakouts and wrinkles, ladies. And we don't want no wrinkles, for real. And then makeup, because, you like me, we don't wear it every day. We wear it on special occasions. And so, tell us just a little bit about that in a minute or less, to help fight infection and clog pores, because makeup will clog your pores, especially if you sleep in it. Sleeping in it is definitely a no-no, and if you don't cleanse it. So speak on that for the next 60 seconds.
So just a quick about makeup. Make sure that if you wear makeup, make sure that you're paying attention to the ingredients on your makeup. Right, look at makeup just as you look at food. Anything that you put in your body, right, you ingest. Anything that you put on your body, you absorb. So that's also like ingesting. So make sure that you pay attention to the ingredients in your makeup. If you should wear makeup, make sure that you wash your face every night, remove it off of your skin, and just be mindful about, again, touching your face and things like that when you have it on. That's sort of kind of grinding it into your skin, right? Making sure that you're not using makeup from, not to sound snobby, but makeup from some of these off-brand stores and things definitely are just not going to have the highest quality ingredients. So I think really my only take on makeup and skincare is making sure that you have quality ingredients and making sure that they are ingredients that you trust to use on your body. I know everyone is at a different level on what they're deciding to put on their body, but making sure that it is not toxic is literally in your best interest.
Right. And I second that emotion, because after my health challenge, I'm very particular about what I put on my body, just like I am what I put in my body. And I also want to add to that about cleaning these makeup brushes. They need to be cleansed weekly, at least weekly. Cleanse these brushes, ladies. And so for y'all who are listening, you just got your Coach Jean / Ms. D Melendez health tips for the week as they relate to our skin care and the glow up, if you will. And I'm going to add about the smoking. If you smoke, look, smoking decreases circulation, it decreases collagen, and it causes fine lines and wrinkles with a quickness. So you want to quit smoking, do what you need to do. Take some tobacco cessation classes, but smoking is not good for your skin. And we talked about the caffeine. Caffeine is actually a diuretic, and we know diuretics will dehydrate your skin. And so, that's another thing when it comes to your skin care. Any last words, D? About 30 seconds. I cannot believe how fast this time goes, girl.
Yeah, well, I think that we pretty much hit a lot of the main points, but guys, just make sure that you're drinking your water, you're getting sleep, right? You're paying attention to your diet, what works for you based off of the outcome you're trying to see. And, sunscreen, man, woman, child, make sure you're putting that on no matter the season. And, and every once in a while, exfoliate, man. Remove that dead skin off your body. And I mean, that's not just your face, your whole body. Exfoliate yourself. And if you need to treat yourself to a spa treatment, to a spa day, go do that too, just to make sure you get the whole shebang to take care of yourself, because self-care is really what you define it as. But all of it includes things that make you happy. So making sure that you feel good as well as looking good, I think everyone can agree that makes them happy.
Right. And men, my men folks, I love you, my men folks who are listening in. This is for you too. You have to take care of your skin as well. I mean, you want to age gracefully too, right, my brothers? So, hey, take these tips from my guest, Miss Melendez, and your girl, Coach Jean, and let's execute, right? Let's be about our health. Let's be about our self-care and our wellness in 2021. And so before we go, I just want to share a passage from the Passion Translation Bible. I hear his whisper. I want you to go after your dreams. Beloved, I have placed destiny within you. When you feel dreams stirring and you cannot escape them, run with them. Stop making excuses for why your dreams haven't been realized. Seek me for wisdom. If you truly want to see those dreams come to pass, it's going to take effort and commitment. It is time to be the best version of you that you can be. Make a habit of diligence. Make a habit of running after your dreams, for you are worthy and capable. And look, I just want to encourage you myself this evening. If you can see it, if you can imagine, if you can see it, you can be it. If you fall off from your wellness goals, just shake it off. Shake the dust off your feet. Pick yourself back up and resume tomorrow. It takes diligence, determination, commitment, and resilience. And I, Coach Jean, believe in you. You got this, my brother and my sister. So again, thank you so much, little sis D. Melendez. Share real quick your social media sites real quick, how the people can connect with you and follow you.
Thank you for having me. And if you're looking to follow me, keep up with me, say, hey, I would love to hear from you. I am on Instagram at I am D Melendez. That is DeeMelendez. I am D Melendez. And on Facebook, I am at D Melendez. So definitely would love to connect with anyone. Sis, I'm so proud of you. And thank you so much for sharing your platform with me tonight. This has been so much fun.
I love you, and thank you for joining me here in the chat room. And look, to my audience, thank you so much for tuning in. To my producer, the Batman of Charm City, Maryland, Mr. Jerry Royce Live, and my faithful listeners, I love y'all so much. Again, thank you for joining us here for another episode in the chat room. Health Chat with Coach Jean, that is. I love you all. And until next time, peace and health. Good night.
Thank you for joining us for another episode here in the chat room. Health Chat with Coach Jean, that is. Until next time, if God says the same, I pray peace, health, love, and well-being for you and your family. God bless you.